Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. I'm Don Benito, and today we are going to be talking about the week ahead and what a big week we have got coming. I'm talking there's so much transfer talk happening. We're waiting for Cunha. We're waiting for here we go for Cunha. And then there's just so much to go. Then there's the Athletic Bilbao game on Thursday. There's just so much going on. If we lose that game, what does that mean? If we win that game, what does that mean? It's a big 2 weeks for Manchester United, and it has already begun with a bang. I'm sorry. In the last 48 hours, I think Manchester United have been linked to 8 players or more, or maybe less, 7 or 8. I'm seeing Lukman, Sheshko, just names are popping out of nowhere. And I'm just like, whoa. I mean, even Victor Gyokerez, which is what I want to talk about right now. So Victor apparently has been linked with us again, which is strange because apparently Manchester United were that as far as we know as Manchester United fans, that deal for Victor Gyokerez was out. We knew that we were out of the deal. We're out of the race. All of a sudden, yesterday, we're getting when you see this, then you know that Victor is in the house. What's going on? Is Victor coming to Manchester United? Are Manchester United looking at Victor? What's the deal? Look, the deal is still the same thing. Nothing has changed. The same thing as Victor Osimehn. Manchester United need to qualify for Champions League. Like, they are waiting for the team to know that they are going to play in the Champions League in order for these players to want to come. Now, what have we been talking about? Like, look, we need players. We need all these top strikers, midfielders to come to Manchester United. But if they do not want to come to Manchester United, why do we bother ourselves with them? Why do we bother ourselves looking at these players? Again, we are we are glad we're doing business. Honestly, I'm glad that Manchester United is out there doing the business, trying to speak to players here and there. We already know that Cunha is in talks with Manchester United. So we know that going into this transfer window, Manchester United have done some work before. Unlike previous seasons where right now when everybody else is doing their deals, Manchester United is quiet. Right? And then just before the transfer window opens or begins, you see some players have got 2-3 players in. And they're now just going to, when the transfer window opens, they're now just going to finalize all these other small signings or whatever signings that they could have done, whether it is to sell or whatever. But most teams, come beginning of the transfer window, they've already made 1 or 2 transfers. Manchester United, we always wait until the end of the transfer window to make our transfers. We will skip all the months, and then that last week, that's when we are now doing deadline day, and it's almost like it's this weird dance that we do, or we used to do, where we know that the player is expensive, but somehow we can afford him and we can pay the wages, but we don't need the player. We actually have other options that we can go for. But Manchester United, for the longest, we know that it has been run poorly. So hearing about all these strikers, or hearing about Victor Gyokerez being linked to Manchester United, and only the links are only going to intensify if Manchester United qualify for the Champions League. Now, we have not yet qualified for the Champions League. I mean, we are playing Bilbao on Thursday for the first leg of the Europa. There's still 2 football games to be played in order for us to be sort of comfortable. I personally think we will win the Europa League. I don't know why. There's no way we can go unbeaten this whole season just to go and lose to Bilbao and then go and lose in the final. I feel like, as a superstitious fan, like you guys know, I'm superstitious. I do not believe that Manchester United have gone through this whole entire season in the Europa unbeaten, remain the only team in Europe currently unbeaten, for us to go and get beaten up by Bilbao and at the end. I feel like this is an invincible moment for Manchester United. We might just go all the way to the final and win every game. And when we do win this Europa League, all the doors are going to be open for us. I'm talking certain players that maybe we never thought that we were going to be able to get, we might be able to get. And the scary thing, or the weird thing about this, is that we've never been in this position. It's almost like Manchester United, what we used to do was we would go for players that nobody else is looking at. And a player that is probably third or fourth choice. Like, we've already skipped first choice, second choice, third choice. We're now moving into uncharted territories of fourth choice, fifth choice. And we kind of like have to get used to the player and start finding some sort of way to fall in love with the player. No. Those days are gone. Either that, or we buy a player who shouldn't be as expensive as he is, but we do get him. Now, as I sit back and deep all the things that have happened thus far, Rasmus Højlund, to me, he was one of our biggest flops. Like, do I take that back? No, I'm not taking it. When I say flops, I say he's a very expensive. Yeah, he's an expensive flop. Damn. Yeah, expensive flop. I'm sorry, but Rasmus Højlund is just not it for Manchester United. We can cry until the cows come home. We can moan and do whatever we want, but we have seen the evidence. I mean, we complained about Romelu Lukaku at Manchester United. We did. He scored goals for us. But we complained about his first touch, is this, is that. But Lukaku scored goals. Do you see Rasmus Højlund as somebody that's going to be putting in goals for you? I'm sorry. I honestly, I'm at the stage that I was in last season where I had already seen enough, and I'm like, it's his first season. Let me give him a chance. I am at the same position. Now, for me, this is the second season. I gave him the second season for him to actually show me something. And I am just not buying it. Rasmus Højlund, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, get Chido in or something else. Do something about that striker position. But we need to make sure that we get this situation done with Rasmus Højlund. Like, it makes no sense. So, this week is big. Europa, we are also waiting to find out if Cunha is accepted personal terms with Manchester United. We're expecting to hear that the deal is progressing well. That both parties are happy, Cunha is happy, this like, we're waiting to find out how far that is. It's definitely coming to Manchester United. Excuse me. I do not think that there's any other team that is vying for him. It is a Manchester United staple when I say we are the only team going for a certain player. Not that nobody else wanted Cunha. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what the status was. But as far as everybody else knows, the whole world knows that Manchester United is the only team that has been vying for Cunha right up until now. And we are leading the race. So it makes sense that we have all these situations. But now, there is something that I wanted to talk about that actually piqued my interest a little bit. And that is Paul Scholes. So Scholes had something to say about Matheus Cunha. Like, whether he's going to be a good fit for the club and what. And, you know, what I read from what Paul Scholes said, for me, it's kind of like emotional damage, in the sense that Manchester United fans, we are so broken. Like, we have seen so, like, I don't know how I can put this so that it makes sense and like it's very palatable for you guys. So we have gone through the toughest times of the club, like, in years. The past 5 years have been very hectic, crazy, insane, to say the least. Manchester United. There has not been an opportunity or a moment where we have had a breath of fresh air. It hasn't been there. Even that 30 goal season, the 30 goal season for Marcus Rashford, I think it was, I don't know if it was diminished by the loss of something else, but we Manchester United fans are so broken to the point that when we are looking at certain players, we don't see them offering us any opportunity or boosting us in any way. So basically, Paul Scholes, he is worried about the Matheus Cunha deal. He's like, look, we understand, like, we've seen what he has done at Wolves. He's on form. He's scored 15 goals. But what is he? Is he a striker? Is he a midfielder? No. Like, he starts asking these questions. And then you ask yourself, you're like, but Paul Scholesy, you are a legend of the game. Surely you know what this guy is. Surely you know that this guy can do a job as a striker and he can do a job as a number 10. It's not really a problem. It's whether or not you want to see him like that. So already there's that discouragement from ex-players to get these. I don't know if he's the right fit. We don't know if he's a striker or a midfielder or number 10. Already putting this doubt in fans. It's almost like we don't deserve to have players like this. The crazy thing about Matheus Cunha is that the characteristics of this player fit perfectly with what Manchester United need and want. We are looking for players that can change games. We are looking for players that are consistently available. We need players that have got balls of steel or have got this fire in their blood. There is something that we always talk about with the South Americans, even Bruno. How is it that when Bruno, before coming to Manchester United, when we saw him for Sporting Lisbon, playing for Sporting Lisbon, when we saw his attributes as a midfielder doing what we did, how is it that we were able to conclude that Bruno was perfect for us? How are we able to know, without Bruno even being at Manchester, how are we able to know that Bruno Fernandes was going to be perfect for us? We were watching clips. We were watching the preseason game that Liverpool played against Sporting Lisbon, where Jurgen Klopp was praising Bruno. Jurgen Klopp wanted Bruno. Like, if Jurgen Klopp had it his way, he would have gotten Bruno. He praised Bruno. I remember that preseason. I think they were in America or something like that. Or I forgot. Just before we signed Bruno, Bruno terrorized Liverpool by himself. And I remember Klopp giving high praise. So then we got Bruno. So how is it that we noticed that? And now we're looking at Cunha and we're like, this guy scored 15 goals this season in a Wolves side that almost at one point got relegated. Like, they were looking for relegation at some point. This Wolves team is not wow. Like, they've had the worst team. But this man was able to score 15 goals. Premier League goals. Yes, there's penalties there and there, but this guy scored goals. How are you denying that? Has any of our attacking players scored double digits? Are they on double digits? No. So what the fuck are we complaining about? What is Scholesy on about? I'm disappointed. This is the one time Paul Scholes has come out and said something and I don't agree with. And I'm just actually asking myself, but so who do you want us to sign at Manchester? Who? You're going to be you are the pundits. You guys are our big brothers, Scholes, the big brothers, our legends. These guys are failing to, I mean, I guess it's their job. This is how they get paid, but they are failing to deep the moment of what's happening. And this thing with Cunha, with Scholes and Cunha, I mean, what Scholes said about Cunha, man, I'm disappointed. Either way, Scholes will eat his words because Cunha is coming to Manchester United. So we'll see. I'm going to be paying attention to Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes is good in punditry. He always, most of the times, he gets it spot on, talking about players, where he feels the future, he always speaks sense. But in this particular moment, I think he has lost the plot. If you want to complain about Cunha's attitude and all of that, then that's a different story. Because I read somewhere with that Wolves fans or some Wolves fans that are happy to get rid of Cunha because he's actually volatile, something along those lines. And I'm like, bring it here. That is a player for a big club. He's in a small pond. He needs to expand. So that's where we were at. So I was that Paul Scholes thing. It rubbed me the wrong way because now it discourages us. We are actually over the moon. We're waiting to hear that Cunha's a red or everything is moving. Like that's what we're waiting to hear. Then you just get the Paul, like a legend, an absolute legend of the club, telling us that I think this might just be a blunt. Nah. You see, when you do that, you get into the weak fan will see Paul Scholes, listen to his punditry and be like, Paul Scholes is right. And Paul Scholes has been nailing it on the head most times. The Antony situation. Antony, bro, like Betis are pushing for Antony. They want Antony to move there permanently, I'm assuming. No. Sorry. They want Antony. They can't afford Antony. They're trying to push for another loan deal for Antony because Antony did the business for them so far. I mean, Antony didn't score a lot of goals for us. I don't know how many goals did he score for Manchester United. Please, somebody leave a comment and remind me. I mean, I might find out after, but trying to make this interactive. How many goals has Antony scored for Manchester United this season? I think 1 or 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't think it's even in the Premier League. It's like all competitions. This man has gone to Betis and has scored 9, is provided 9 goal contributions in 18 games. Meaning he has probably scored 5 goals, provided 4 assists, or 5 assists, 4 goals. Whichever way you want to look at it. Though the 9 is assists and goals, and that's what he has done for Betis in a very short period of time. How long has it been? January, February, March, April. We're in April, moving on to May. It's been 3 months. It's been bloody 3 months, and this guy has taken Betis. He's almost like a cult hero. Now, I totally understand why he's probably found his form. He said it himself. The weather in Betis is good. His family is happy. And, all these things. It seems they were unhappy at Manchester United, which is completely fine. It's okay. Like, if he parts with us, if he parts ways, so be it. So be it. But his Anthony Rengen has come because of sunshine, and warm weather. And that's it. I don't think there's anything else that he can say that has changed everything for him. No, he's enjoying the city in Betis. He's enjoying the weather. It just makes sense. His family is happy. He's happy. He's happy seeing his wife happy. He's happy seeing his daughter happy. He's playing football. Everything is good. Everything is so he's got no problems. So Betis are trying to plan something with this with Manchester United. What they're trying to sign him. I just don't know if they can afford the 42.8 million that Manchester United have put on Anthony. You see? 50 million euros. Can Betis, they will say they can't afford it or they don't need it, but the player has done the business for you. The player has contributed and exceeded expectation. You guys don't want to pay. You want to bring Anthony again for another loan. It's going to be very interesting. If Betis don't want to sign Anthony full, I think Anthony's coming back. I don't think we're going to let him go out again, especially after seeing that this guy can actually do a business out there. I think they're going to try and get the best tune out of him. And which leads me into this thing about Marcus Rashford. Rashford is injured. And I was just not sure how this situation plays out for us. Because if Rashford is injured, that means he comes back, right? Or am I wrong? Does it boost his chances of leaving? I don't think so. Because if he's on loan, he's a burden to that club. They are paying for all those things. Yes, we are paying part of his salary as well. But majority of it is supposed to be Aston Villa. Are Villa prepared to take care of an injured Marcus Rashford? Pay his wages, do everything. Like, do they want to sign an injured Marcus Rashford? Some are saying that it's going to be easy, and I don't understand how that is. I don't understand how it is easy to sell a broken item. How does that work? Please, I'm curious to know how we are going to, like, how Marcus Rashford, how does it work? How does it work? And his injury is a hamstring. Season ender, out until next season. So we don't know. Marcus Rashford can come back, he'll be injured. So it means that preseason is going to be another debacle. It means that we're not going to get the best out of Rashford. And if Rashford does not get a preseason, forget about him firing on all cylinders when the season starts. Forget. I know my boys. I know how they are preseason. I've started making preseason a thing. I think this is my fourth preseason where I'm making it a thing, where I'm trying to understand what the fucking problem is with our preseasons. Every preseason since freaking Erik ten Hag, we always, beginning of the season, it's just bizarre. These things never used to happen. We used to go for Asia tour, what tour, under Sir Alex Ferguson. These players used to go. They used to do whatever. And then come back, the beginning of the season, we are firing on all cylinders. Whoever is the first victim is dead. We have not been having that. Please check. Go back. Our first games are weird. They're almost like, we used to be so confident in the first game. But then we started seeing our frailties, it's difficult. It's becoming more and more and more difficult for us to score 4 goals in the first game, which was a normal thing. We're getting 1-0s, 2-0s. Think about it. We used to smack teams 3-4. That's an opening. Yes, you can lose after, but that opening game, it always used to be the statement of the season. Manchester United have fallen off that statement thing for a while now. Since Erik ten Hag's first season, when he was trying to get Casemiro, and then got all the players late, and then he had to sort of, that was the issue then. So right now we're sitting here saying, Marcus Rashford, how does it benefit us? We want to get rid of Marcus. He needs to go. But he's injured. So now what does this mean? He stays? I don't know. I'm gonna let that one play out, and then we'll see how that goes. There's an interesting story about Johnny Evans. Wrexham have been promoted into the championship, and they are ready to take the world by storm. And one of their targets in strengthening their team is Johnny Evans. You know what? Salute Johnny Evans. Like, if they want him, please take him. Take him. I mean, we're gonna miss him because I swear, Johnny Evans' role for us last season or ever since he came back has been good. I appreciate the old players that come to do a job. They understand their place. They're not trying to fight. When they're called up to do a job, they do the job. And Johnny Evans is that man. And I respect him and I wish him all the best going to Wrexham. I mean, hey, Wrexham is a Hollywood team. Ryan Reynolds there, whatever, with his buddy, bringing all these Americans and stuff to come and watch games. Wrexham, look, if and when Wrexham does qualify into the Premier League, wow, it's going to be a bloody story. It's going to be all over Hollywood. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. But will they? That's the part. Will they get into the Prem? Because, anyway, we will see when we get there. So, the big week, Athletic Bilbao, it's going down Thursday. I don't know what you guys think. I'm confident, but I respect my opponent. One of their best players is injured. Sensi, something like that. He's injured. He's been the standout player this season. And during the open training and stuff like that, he was not pictured with the team or with the squad. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know what happened to Nico Williams this season, but he's also a threat. Iñaki Williams, the brother, is also a threat. They have got players that can do a job. They've got people that can hurt us. But I feel like they have been weakened with this injury of that certain player. And with us, I don't know. I feel like our boys have locked into the Europa League thing. Like they've put in their mind in their head that, look, it's Europa or nothing. Because you look at the way they play in the Premier League, you look at what they do, you look at how Ruben Amorim managed the team. I was happy to see Harry Maguire come off. Was it Ugarte as well? So you kind of have an idea of your starting lineup. I know I will give you a starting lineup that I think might start against Athletic Bilbao. So at the back, we have Onana. Our defense is going to be interesting. It's going to be Maguire, Euro, and Shaw. I know you're asking me, because Dalot's injured. Dalot is injured. So we're going to push Mazraoui further. We're pushing him into that wing-back position, right? Where Dalot would have normally occupied. If Dalot was fit, right? If Dalot was fit, I think Shaw eats bench. Mazraoui is there with Euro or Maguire. And then Dalot takes his position and then Dogu takes this other position. But because Dalot is injured, I see Mazraoui playing in that position. And then Dogu is on the left. So we already have our back five. Onana, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Euro, Mazraoui. The midfield pivot, Ugarte, Casemiro. And then up top, I am personally doing this over and over again because I'm tired. I want them to drop Garnacho. So in that number 10 position, I would like to see Bruno and Mainu. And then up top is Rasmus Højlund. I mean, it is what. Who's the other striker? Obi can't play. He can't play for us because he's not been registered for the Europa League. So that's how I have picked my team. That's how I'm seeing my team picked. If there are any changes in that squad, I think maybe it will be maybe on the menu part, like that number, the person who will partner Bruno in that position could be somebody it could be Garnacho or Menu or Mason Mount. And then defense, we've got Friedrichsen. I mean, he's somebody that looked very solid in his previous game. He's somebody that could start as well. So our starting lineup is solid. I actually think it's going to do a job. I really do. I do. In a very strange, weird way, I believe it is going to happen. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. Please don't forget to hit the link, hit the bell, subscribe. Check us on Spotify. We are flying on Spotify. Check us on YouTube, Facebook. Check us on all socials, Google Podcast, you name it, we are there. Thank you for the support and thank you for tuning into the Glory Reds podcast.